Just another brother with another humble question. Just another brother with another humble question.
Welcome to another episode of A Brother with Questions. I am your host, B. Period. Man, I thank y'all for joining me. Before we get going, please like, subscribe to the channel, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Castbox, Spotify, wherever you want to listen to us, man. Find us, listen, tune in, man. And don't forget, like and subscribe, man. That's how they know that this is content you want to keep listening to. So please like and subscribe to the channel. Man, we're going to be reacting to a video from my man KRS1. KRS1 speaking on hip hop. That's what he does, right? KRS1 loves to educate us on hip hop, man. He's always got something interesting to say. Let's check him out.
What was whack about hip hop? The worst thing, 1979 Sugar Hill Records, is the worst thing that ever happened to hip hop. When Sugar Hill Records came out, a woman named Sylvia Robinson and her husband Joey Robinson, they owned all of rap. If you could somehow phantom that in your head for a hot minute, there was one record label that had all the top rappers of the day on it, and no other company.
Let's stop right there. So at the beginning of hip hop, that's what he's talking about. He's going all the way back, as you can see in the clip. He went all the way back to 1979. So at the beginning of hip hop, one company owned by a black couple, older black couple, owned all of hip hop at one point in time. All of hip hop, one company, black company. Let's go.
Had we stuck together, black people would not be in this situation. They say hip hop is a $10 billion culture every year. That's black people money we should be having. But black people rejected us and lost $10 billion.
Speak on it, man. Had we stuck together, he says, a $10 billion industry would ultimately belong to black people. Now, if you're connecting dots, because I know not everybody see the dots. What he's saying is, at the beginning of hip hop, everything went through one company owned by a black couple. Now, had that one company of the black couple, Sugar Hill Records, had they stuck together, they should have controlled the industry, because everybody had to go to them to get the top rap hip hop artists at the time. Do you know how powerful that is, man? Because again, and you know, I'm gonna bring this back to where we are today, but that's what he's trying to tell us, man. One company owned all the best rappers at one point in time, and that company was actually black owned. $10 billion that has floundered. Let's keep going.
$10 billion a year gone. Whole dream of Dr. King gone. Take it up now to Sugar Hill Records. All the greatest hip hop acts are on the label, but they're not getting treated right. Black people are ripping off black people. I say this respectfully because I'm talking about our parents. These are older blacks ripping off the talent of younger blacks, respectfully. KRS, Scott LaRock, Boogie Down Productions, B-Boy Records. Black men are taking advantage of young black talent.
Imagine that, man. So here you are, you're an older black person. You've probably gone through a series of bad deals yourself or bad contracts yourself. And now here you go. Now you got a little bit of power because you know a little bit more about this game, this music business, than these younger black men that are coming into it. And rather than give them the game up front, you submit them or you subject them to the same tricks, to the same shady deals that you were probably exposed to before you started to try and do your own thing. And you know, it's mind blowing. Why would you do that? I mean, we've seen the Ray Charles of the world. We've seen the Little Richards of the world. We've seen countless black artists of the 50s and the 60s and the 70s, the George Clintons, the James Browns, get ripped off. By now, it's 1979. You've watched these men get ripped off. And then we get to 1979, they got their own little thing going, and they're like, we got some victims ourselves now. Why would you do that? Don't make no sense, man. And when people, it's why I get so frustrated about when people say what we don't have in the community. It's not that we don't have. It's that we don't do each other right. Not enough of us anyway.
B-Boy Records was owned by black people, older black men from the 50s and 60s. You would think, after everything we went through in civil rights, you see a young man coming up, he calls himself Knowledge Reigns Supreme. And he's trying to come up, he's homeless, he's in the street, but he's talking that blackness. And you see he got a crowd around him. And you see he got some little time, you're not gonna dust him off and say, yo, young blood, come on, let me show you something. Let me protect you. No, they were the first ones to come in, rip off me and Scott LaRock for the Criminal Minded album. To this very day, black folks still ripping me off for the Criminal Minded album. To this very day.
That's crazy, man. What did the album come out in the 80s? Maybe early 90s or something like that? It's 2023 and this man still ain't getting paid off of what was probably one of his best albums. If not the best album, depending on who you talk to, probably. Why? Because black men who've been in the game saw a young man who they could take advantage of and took advantage of. The same game that probably got done to them, when they got their opportunity, they were like, I'm going to do it to somebody else just like they did it to me. $10 billion. So what, they could make a couple million off of his one album? You know, why are so many of us so short-sighted that we miss the big pictures? Just keep going.
Because I'm already a wealthy person, I really don't care. So I allow black folk to eat off the album. I allow bootleggers to eat off the album. I allow people to do that. It doesn't bother me. But if you want to talk principle, black people are they're eating their children. They're eating their children. This is the worst thing to happen to not only hip hop, but to black civilization in the United States.
There it is, man. And the crazy part of that is he's talking about 1979. But it didn't stop in 1979. Other young blacks, the P. Diddy's of the world, There's other executives we could name, but P. Diddy is certainly right now, I would say, the poster child for it. Suge Knight was a poster child as well. But other young blacks came in the game, got told by other people, this is how we do business here. And then came in and perpetrated the same bad contract tactics on other young black men. So you 25 yourself, and you come in and you taking advantage of the 21-year-old you bring in the game. Again, 20, 30 years later, we still didn't learn that lesson. Crazy part, it's 2023. We still ain't 2024, sorry. We still ain't learned that lesson. And yet we are steady talking about what we don't have and what others need to do when we aren't doing for ourselves. I'm gonna keep saying this until I can see it into fruition, man. Why is there not a major black-owned distribution company in America distributing hip hop across the world? Not one that's a subsidiary of Universal, Interscope, you name it. No, Warner Brothers. No. Why is there not a major black-owned distribution company? We now have the financial capital to build these companies from the ground up. No, they're not going to make $1 billion in the first year, probably. But neither did Interscope. Neither did Universal. Neither did Warner Brothers. They didn't make $1 billion in the first year. But they understood if they stayed in this game, if they kept signing artists and distributing their music, eventually they're going to make $1 billion. Because no one has overnight success in business. And that to me is the failure of the biggest failure when it comes to hip hop. Because we made a bunch of individuals a bunch of money. But yet we're 50 years into this game, and we still don't own a major black distribution company distributing hip hop across the world. That to me is the biggest failure of the music industry, period. We have allowed other people to take our product, right? Because that's black people hold this hip hop thing as theirs. And we've allowed others to distribute it however they want. And we take the crumbs that they give us after they've made their billions. Because there's a whole lot of us that have done this music, but we can count on a hand how many of us say we've made $1 billion in this music. Matter of fact, that number is even less because everybody who is a billionaire has really made most of their money off of other projects that they've done, not their music. But I know a whole lot of white men that can say their company has made multiple $1 billion off of this music. When are we going to take it back, man? When are we going to take control? It's 2024, man. I don't know what anybody else is planning in 2024. But my plan is to take control of everything that I can take control of and begin to win on another level in everything that I have control of. And so I'm encouraging everybody out there, man. I don't know what you do. Maybe you're doing a podcast too. Maybe you have another business on the side. Maybe you got a t-shirt business, a clothing business, man. But in 2024, man, we got to take these things to another level, man. And then we got to feed back into the community so that we can bring others along the way, bro. And that's ultimately how we're gonna win. And if you're not on that plan, man, don't get with me. Get with somebody else. Because that's my plan in 2024, man. Man, shout out to KRS One, man. I love that video. He has always been a truth teller when it comes to what's going on in hip hop. If only more of these brothers would be listening to the game that this brother spits, man, we'd be on a whole nother level right now. Man, I am B period. That's it for me today, man. I am out, bro.